All right, so the predominant topic before us is it possible for you players to conduct yourself in a manner where zero dissent is shown toward umpires?
No. It just happens. It just is what it is. I'm putting my hands like this.
Get your wallet out.
It's body language.
Yeah. I mean...
It's body language. It's like it's a natural reaction, like point to the scoreboard, look at the scoreboard. Like some guys looking at the scoreboard, look how their hair is, and they like to look at their review and whatnot. Like.
But you are doing it to tell the umpire he's wrong. You don't agree with the decision that he's made.
No, you quit, but I don't know. Yeah, look.
Is there a difference?
It doesn't really matter what I say. They've come out and they've said that you can't put your arms up. So
do you believe there's
just march to that beat of that drum?
Do you believe there's a difference in raising hands and having a demonstrative action and raising your hands to say, whatever? Yeah. Do you think there is or not?
What happens if someone is appealing for the Dan Butler example we saw earlier on in the show? You're appealing for a free kick like that because you're appealing to the umpire that he's kicked it out of bounds deliberately.
Yes.
And it's like, free kick for putting your arms out.
No, I think it's the secondary moment of dispute and dissent as opposed to appealing for the free kick.
I understand that was how you portrayed it, but what happens if someone umpire thinks, oh, that's dissent towards me for appealing for a free kick against, I'm the one making the decision. And then we get a free kick like that paid.
Yeah, I think the trouble is, as players, you face is the greyness sometimes with it, with, you know, obviously the terminology about the interpretation based on probably the umpire's opinion is how you find it probably difficult to adjust to. I think we all completely agree with the rationale of, you know, supporting our umpires and their standing in the game and obviously adjusting our behaviours off the back of it. But this will give us probably a bit more clarity around how we can best probably regulate some of our emotions.
Did you guys watch this on Friday night?
I only saw a clip of that.
Thursday night.
I've been more surprised that they haven't done it a bit earlier because that was the... I don't know, Marcus, if you got told that, but we got told by the AFL and the umpires they were going to ping people for this pretty early on. And it happened a lot in the pre-season competition. And then it sort of went away again for a little bit.
Was the public told that? Jared?
No, the public wasn't told enough.
The public wasn't. So you guys are telling us that you were told if arm's out, it's going to be 50.
Yeah.
But the 6 million people who go to the footy every year weren't told.
I think the Christian Petrarca example was the one in the pre-season that was probably the early one that we all sort of got a feel for what was going to be paid, which probably gave us all a bit of a, you know, a sight of line of how it would be.
But we thought from our position that was aggressive verbally. That's what I thought. Tom McDonald's gone, you're something or other. That's what I thought. I thought it was verbal. And now it's come out at 5 weeks. So what, as captain, what do you say to your players this week? Or does the coach say, what happens? How do you address the matter
We've been,
now?
you know, pretty lucky actually, or fortunate that we haven't had sort of too many to probably reference, but obviously you get a reflection of probably what's happening around the league. So it'll probably be a discussion of an awareness that this is how it's going to be interpreted. These are the examples, and to be aware of it, because I think once again it's an important change and adjustment for the competition, for the locals, for the leagues, for the kids, to continue to, you know, really champion our umpires and what they're doing. And clearly the rule is the rule, and we just have to be able to adjust to it now.
That's a given that we all support dissent and abuse of umpires. Do you agree that arms out 50 metres is correct, or it should be in the game?
Once again, I think it's going to depend on each instance.
No, it can't.
It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter what we think.
No, but I want to know. You've got a brain. Do you like it or don't like it?
I don't like it, but it doesn't matter what we think. We have to conform to the rules. Like, it is what it is. Like, I can sit here and say, oh, I don't like the push in the back rule. I think you should be able to push in the back.
Yeah, you're allowed to say that. We're allowed to have discussions.
I don't like the fact that I got penalised for using my foot as a step ladder 3 years ago.
So why don't you like it?
Because I don't think it's that big of an issue. I think there's other bigger issues in terms of umpire dissent, and please don't get me wrong in terms of, am I trying to say that the umpires, you should be able to do whatever you want to the umpires. But I don't think hands out is that big of an issue in the grand scheme of things. And I think it's caused more angst because of the public maybe didn't get the heads up about what's going to happen towards umpires now, because this rule's popped up and people sort of haven't had the forewarning it's going to happen.
So it's all on you now.
It has to be.
Like, the umpires have been hit squarely between the eyes tonight at training and said, it's not up to you. these are the rules, blow the whistle.
Which is funny because I felt like Chris Scott actually said in his interview today, Brad Scott, sorry, said in his interview today that umpires will deem what they deem is dissent. Will be up to each individual umpire. And then to hear that tonight, that they've been told that's a blanket ban, it actually probably clears it up for me a little bit. It's like, well, don't put your hands out. It's going to be hard to stop because it's human nature to turn around and be like, come on, umpire.
Well, also 5 rounds in, an early part of the season, of probably a new interpretation of the rule, which obviously, you know, we're all adjusting to. And like you're saying, from an emotional perspective, it's hard not to be when it comes to the game and we're all emotionally invested. But that's the part, obviously, we're trying to regulate in that instance. So.
It does look a bit silly when guys have gone to appeal and then all of a sudden put their hands down, or someone else has grabbed their hand.
So there are a couple here.
Oh, you've had them clipped up.
No, we're not finished. We're not finished. Don't rush us on.
Yeah, don't worry.
Jude, can I talk or you want to show something?
I do want to show.
I want to see the edits because I heard there was some.
So the Ralph Smith and Edwards from your game. Oh, so Ross is about to dispute.
And he grabs his Oh, no, they're up. They're up. They're up.
It's trivial now, isn't it? It's like...
How did you go in round 4?
What did I do one, did I?
Oh, here we go. We've got 1,000
I
examples.
don't think I would be trying this again this weekend.
Unrealistic attempt.
Oh.
No. Oh, just the one. Come on.
That's really funny because the incident where you jumped and landed on the ground and the whole footy world's laughed for how many years? 8 years?
It has, yeah.
And you went like that. Iconic moment for you and for footy is now a 50-metre penalty.
It is a 50-metre penalty. And off the back of that, the great man who sat in that seat last week, Tom Hawkins, he spent half an hour at this program and all of a sudden he's joined the crew. He's jumped on one of the weekend and gone shooting to the moon. A very funny meme out of that too, the shooting stars with the big hawk on the weekend. So
this is it, okay? So but let's laugh. What about
he had his arms up, that should have been 50 as well.
What about the meme when he's flying around the universe?
That was so funny.
So, right, now this is a 50-metre penalty against Tom Mitchell in the middle of the ground, okay? What did you guys think of that? Like, it's 50 metres off the ball, there's no optics, no one is really looking at that, okay? Can you deal with that?
Who wants to go?
Yeah. Like, I think you probably can, like, because that looks like more of a discussion for me, but obviously, once again, the hands are in the air. So without being there, it's hard to know, but... I
like discussions. I think that's... Like, I like those sort of engagement because sometimes you can actually speak to the umpire speaks back to you, they're all radio mic'd in, so you get actually a bit of an explanation and then you might be like, oh, well, if you did this part of the game, you learn. The relationships are so important.
I'll ask you both. Has your behaviour towards umpires changed from when you first started to now?
I don't think I've had to mentally sort of check myself or adjust anything going into a game. You might be a bit...
Robbo's looking at me.
No, I'm not. He said no.
I think...
I'm asking you.
I think certainly in the last 5 weeks I've had to change. Because I was an appealer. 100% I'm an appealer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Even if it's going down leg.
Okay.
But you can't even down on one knee. You're like, come on.
This is the point. We're going to lose this. It's not personality, but we're going to lose a lot of iconic moments, fun.
I think you're romanticising.
I reckon you can tactically run past now and just throw a little swear word in. You might get a 50.
Then if I'm not romancing.
The appealing will be fine. It'll be the
dissent
in the aftermath. No, it will be.
It won't be, mate. This is the issue. If you do that, it's 50.
No, it's after the decision has been made. It's the dissent and the disputing of the decision.
No, it's not. I disagree.